I'm very happy indeed to be giving this tribute on behalf of Professor Byron Kakulas, who sadly is no longer with us. Byron was an exceptional man by any standards, and we all owe him a great debt of gratitude for the major influence that he had on the development of neurology, neuropathology, and the neurosciences in Western Australia and the whole of this country, and for his pioneering efforts as a medical researcher in Western Australia. And I personally will always be grateful to him also for the profound influence that he had on my own career as a clinical neurologist and academic, which was heavily influenced by the time I first went to work with him and trained in neuropathology and myopathology. Byron was a man of great vision, and one of his great ambitions and passions was to create a medical research institute, a neurological research institute in Western Australia, which of course he achieved, originally the starting point being the ANRI at the Sir Charles Gardner Hospital campus at QE2 in the early 1980s. And that gradually evolved and continued to grow and has flourished into the Perrin Research Institute that we now have. Byron was really a man of great vision, as I've said, and he was committed to everything he did. And it's really quite amazing to look back at the legacy that he's left behind. Not just the Perrin Research Institute, but the state-of-the-art Department of Neuropathology at Royal Perth Hospital. And beyond that, the network of neuropathology that has been established in this country as a result of Byron's pioneering efforts in the 1960s to start with. From the mid-1960s, Byron established a centre of excellence in Perth at Royal Perth Hospital. And through his teaching and training of generations of research fellows and future neurologists and neuropathologists, he actually shaped the development of the discipline, not only in Western Australia, but also more widely throughout the country and the region, and globally, in fact. And we look back and remember that he had a constant flow of trainees and fellows coming to work with him in Perth from other parts of the country and from as far afield as the UK, Europe, and particularly Southeast Asia. It was my good fortune to have Byron as my teacher and mentor and as a very good friend for a period of over 50 years. In fact, it seems almost like a lifetime in retrospect. From the time I first went to work with him in his new Department of Neuropathology at Royal Perth Hospital in 1966, he was an inspiring role model and mentor. And the 2.5 years that I spent working with him and training in neuropathology were to be the most fruitful and important part of my training as a clinical neurologist, and a really important foundation for a career in neurology. In 1988, I was fortunate to be able to go back to spend a further 12-month sabbatical period working with Byron, this time on amyloid and Parkinson's disease, and to take advantage of the marvelous resources that he'd established in the Department of Neuropathology. Even after retiring, many years after retiring, Byron continued to be a source of inspiration to all of us at the ANRI and later at the Perrin Institute, where he continued to amaze us by coming into work to his office every day. He continued publishing papers up until just before Christmas last year. And he was working on a new book on spinal cord injuries, even in his 90s, with his long-term colleague and friend, Milan Dimitrijevic from Baylor College in Houston. Byron was always available for a friendly chat and word of advice. And one of my lasting memories from late last year was when the organisers of the Perrin Research Symposia asked Byron and I to do a joint Q&A seminar and to talk about our careers. Byron was very relaxed and in his element, And in his own inimitable way, he recounted some of the highlights of his career, of which there had been many, of course. And he spoke about the secret and was asked about the secret of achieving success. Byron was, of course, very proud of his Greek heritage, and I sometimes used to joke with him that success was really all in the genes, and that his many achievements probably had a lot to do with that marvelous set of Greek genes that he had inherited. Byron is already sadly missed, and of course will be quite irreplaceable, because he was one of a kind.